Welcome to the Select Board meeting for Wednesday, October 2nd at 7 p.m. at the Hollis Community Building. I call the meeting to order. On my left is Roger Hicks. On my right is Jack Regala. My name's Mary Hoffman. We're your Select Board. I make a motion to open the public hearing to adopt the General Assistance Ordinances of September 2024, General Assistant Maximums and Appendices A through F for October 1st, 2024 to September 30th, 2025.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So as you know, every October we have to re-adopt a new general assistance ordinance, and every year's a little bit of the maximums go up, but not very much. So for instance, for a person in the household, the overall maximum that you can make to be eligible is now $1,451, which is up $84. And if you're a household of 5, it went up $3,000 to $3,332, which is an increase of $131. The food maximums went up minimally. If you have one person, they increased it by $1. If you have 7 people in your household, they increased it by $4. The heating fuel remained the same. The household maximums for unheated went up anywhere from, if there's no bedrooms, from $96 to 4 bedrooms, $168. And if it's heated, it went up to $82 for 1 bedroom, for 0 bedrooms, and $129 for heated. Personal care and household supplies remain the same, and I think everything else on that thing remained the same, except the mileage rate went up 4 cents to 50 cents per mile. And the funeral maximums went up for burials from $1,600 up to $1,620, up $145, and for cremation up to $1,125, up $100. So we'll be utilizing the new maximum reference sheet for Portland, which we're included in, from October 1st, 2024 to September 30th, 2025. We do have the ordinance in the office. If anybody ever wants to come in and read it or would like some nighttime reading, we could get you a copy to take home with you if you wanted to read it. But we just need to make to vote so we just need to make a motion and close the public hearing and then vote on it, right?
Correct. Make a motion, we vote to close the public hearing and reconvene the select board meeting.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. So I make a motion. Is there any public comment at all on the general assistance ordinance? And like I said, it's light reading. It's about 190 pages, so. I make a motion to vote to adopt the general assistance ordinance of September 2024, the general assistant maximums and appendices A through F for October 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2025. And we'll be signing a general assistance ordinance, which says that we're going to adopt that ordinance in its entirety, and it supersedes and replaces all previous ordinance versions, and it will be filed with the DHHS, Department of Health and Human Services, and will be available in our office.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving right along. I make a motion to open the public hearing for all secret ballot warrant articles, proposed shoreline zoning map, proposed charter commission, and proposed ordinance changes for the Hollis special town meeting to be held on November 5th, 2024.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So, as you all know, we're going to vote on November 5th. It's a general election for the president and everything, so we figured we'd add a couple things because we really wanted to establish a charter commission. So it's very short warrant, and I'll read most of it to you. So it's standing resident in the town of Hollis. We're required to notify and warn the inhabitants in said town of Hollis qualified to vote to assemble at the Hollis Center Church, that is a change in location, 388 Hollis Road, the 5th day of November, AD 2024, at 6:45 a.m. in the forenoon to act on Article 1. The polls will then open at 7 a.m. and close at 8 p.m. to act on Articles 2 through 5 by secret ballot voting. And all the proposed amendments and proposed shoreline zoning map are available for review and inspection at the town clerk's office or our website, and will be available at the special town meeting. We also have copies in the back. Article 1 is the usual article to elect a moderator by written ballot to preside at said town meeting. Article 2, shall a charter commission be established for the purpose of establishing a new municipal charter. Article 3, shall an ordinance entitled 2024 Amendments to the Town of Hollis Ordinance for the Disposal of Tax-Acquired Property be enacted. That specific article, as you know, we enacted an ordinance in June, but then the legislative bodies changed the rules a little bit, so we had to revise that, so that's why we're amending it. The revisions are, instead of if we sell a piece of tax-acquired property, if we couldn't find the owners of the property to give the money back, the town would get to keep the proceeds. Now, if we can't find the owners after we publish in the paper 3 times, we get to send the money to the state to put in the unfunded, is it the unfunded balance or? So that's the change.
So the unclaimed property.
Unclaimed property. So
then the state holds on.
So the state gets the money. So I am a member of the Legislative Policy Committee with Maine Municipal Association, and we think that's all ridiculous because it's just that the town does all the work and the state gets the money. But you can make your own assumptions. And the whole amended ordinance is enclosed and available for your review. But we just thought it was really nice for them to decide they could keep the money and we could do the work. So the select board recommends that article. Article 4, there's a copy of the map in your handout, is shown ordinance entitled 2024 Adoption of the Town of Hollis Shoreland Zoning Map dated 8/14/2024 as incorporated into the Hollis Shoreland Zoning Ordinance through Chapter 11 being enacted. And as you can see, this is a new map for shoreland zoning. If you remember, we adopted a map last June?
Last June.
Last June that sort of divides the town up into different sections and didn't really have much detail. So this adds a little more detail. And we did talk to Southern Maine Planning and Development because our next proposal for an update to the map for the town of Hollis will be to get rid of that little dog leg on the zoning map. So that's our next project. But so she did a really nice job. The delay was in she needed to get the federal resources for being able to mark the map appropriately. And the select board recommends and the planning board recommends. And then Article 5, and the final article, is shall an ordinance entitled 2024 Amendments to the Zoning Ordinance of the Town of Hollis regarding adoption of amendments under Article 1.5 be enacted. And it basically is a change of the zoning ordinance because we were not in compliance with the state regulations that if you don't have a town charter, you can't, the planning board can't say that if they don't agree with something that we put on the warrant, that you have to have a 2/3 majority vote to overrule the planning board. It's a simple majority, And it also explains what happens with the secret ballot referendum, that you have to have the final wording 60 days before the date of the referendum. And if you have an open town meeting, the planning board has to have a public hearing at least 10 days before the town meeting. So it's just a few changes in the zoning ordinance to be in compliance with the state requirements. There was a legal action by one of the towns who had the planning board tell them they couldn't make a change because they didn't have the 2/3 vote. And it was decided that if you don't have a charter, you can't change the majority rule. And so that's it on the warrant articles. Any questions before we proceed and close the public hearing?
Motion to vote to close the public hearing and reconvene the select board meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Bennett, do we need to vote on improving the warrant? We already did that, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. I just want to make sure. Okay, so now we have meeting minutes to review. We've all read these and reviewed them, and they looked excellent to us. We had meeting minutes from August 21st. All were in attendance, so I need a motion to approve the minutes.
I second it.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from August 21st, and you're seconding it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The September 4th, 2024 meeting, Jack and I attended. Roger was absent, so I make a motion to approve the September 4th meeting minutes.
Second.
And all those in favor? Aye.
I abstain.
Thank you, Mr. Roger.
All right.
I'm going to let Roger address Mansion Road.
Okay, Mansion Road Reconstruction Project was awarded to R.J. Grondin and Sons for the sum of $249,949. The lowest bid, after review, did not meet the bid requirements, so the next lowest bid was R.J. Grondin. Update, we will be having a pre-construction meeting on Monday at 1 o'clock at the Mansion Road, probably at the end of your driveway, Steve, so if you want to come out and attend, that's fine. As far as I know, they should start construction sometime soon, right after we have that meeting, probably within the month of October. But until I have that pre-construction meeting, I don't have a date set yet. So, moving forward on that.
All I know is they said they'd have it done by November 15th.
Well, we put it in, we wanted it done by the first or second week in November, so they seem to think they can do it, so good.
And Jack, if you can do the community celebration.
Yeah, community celebration held on September 21st. A lot of thank yous to the folks that attended. The fireworks were fantastic. It was a great thing to do. I thank the Lions Club, and I thank the folks that helped out with the raffle table above and beyond. It was a good time. The rec center put on some games for the kids, so they occupied them. So it was a well put together event, quick and short, but it was good.
And I don't have the totals on what we made on the raffle or the silent auction, but we'll have those next time.
Mm-hmm.
And the fireworks were fabulous, so I think we're going to send a special thank you to the company because they really did a nice job.
They did.
They kept checking us with us because even though the forecast was no rain, and every time I looked at my phone it would say it wasn't raining, it kept raining. But it was really a nice display, and I know Bennett put it on Facebook.
Yep.
No, every time we thought they were over, they started back up again.
Yep.
So it was awesome.
Yep, it was good.
So D is, we've been meeting with Van Hertel and his lawyers and our lawyers to come up with a consent agreement on Harmon Farms to fix the open space in the road. And we finally did come to an agreement, so we just need to have a motion to sign that agreement.
Make a motion that we sign the consent agreement with Van Hertel.
Yeah, second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then we'll just need to sign it. And then I'll let Roger address the next one.
New voting place for the general election on November 5th. Due to the construction here, and you notice the constraints we have for traffic, we met with Hollis Center Church, and they've graciously opened their doors for us to allow us to move our voting place down to Hollis Center Church for November 5th. So that will be the polling place for the November vote. So remember, Hollis Center Church, November 5th.
It's 388 Hollis Road.
Yep. In the
Right across from the old fire station.
old fire station, it's still existing.
Yeah, it's still existing, but it's old.
But it's really what?
It is old.
It's really what, 202?
Yep.
Yeah.
On Route 202. Polls will open at 7 and close at 8 p.m.
And we appreciate people going there to vote. I know it's a change, and we appreciate it.
It's just with,
We just couldn't imagine how we were going to have parking, whether we're going to have a shuttle bus from, I don't know, the sports complex or something. So thank you. Construction of new municipal complex update. Jack?
As it stands of today, we're roughly 2 weeks behind, which isn't too bad, especially we had to do some blasting of ledge. There is a nice picture of the town hall at the entryway. The groundbreaking was really, really nice ceremony. It was, and I'm glad to see this happening. Like I say a million times, it's practical. It's functional. Talking to the contractor, saying it's going to be one of the nicest, municipalities in the area, the way it was designed and laid out. So.
And just so you know that the Waterboro Reporter has us on the front page
Yep.
this week, and Jack has actually been signing the Waterboro Reporter for his physician friends. So.
so it's kind of hard for people, if you show up at town hall, to look through the fence and actually see what's going on. But it is making a lot of progress, and what is it, Monday, Jack? They plan on the footings?
Yep.
So very shortly, the footings and the cement will start, and then it'll start taking shape, and you'll start seeing things. But due to the construction area, you can't go over there and look over the banking like we get a chance to take a peek.
I know.
But
They've been taking a lot of photos, and I've been taking a lot of pictures, and hopefully one day we can put it together and do a nice presentation. But
It's coming along.
I'm really happy to see it happening.
Yep.
We meet with them twice a month, and we have a lot of interactions with them and a lot of, I think, good ideas presented that we haven't thought about, so we can add them before it's too late. And
They're a great company to work with. They keep you abreast of everything, you know.
Roger, you want to do Pleasant Hill paving?
Pleasant Hill paving project. They were up grinding the driveways and prepping it. Becky, I still believe it's either tomorrow or Friday they plan on paving. As far as I know, it was either Thursday or Friday, so
yeah.
keep our fingers crossed it happens one of those 2 days. So that'll be coming shortly.
So we're getting some progress. Under new business, if any of you remember last meeting, we rescinded policy number 19, insurance benefits, and then that was an error, so we're going to reinstitute, is that the right word? Reinstate, that's a good word.
Reinstate.
policy number 19. Our employment ordinance will be updated at our next annual town meeting to add personnel policies which include eligibility for health and dental insurance. That wasn't in our current employment policy. So we must reinstate and amend policy 19 to include the newly added positions of Director of Child Care, Administrative Assistant of Fire and Rescue, and the Deputy Clerk, Deputy Registrar of Voters. So I make a motion that we reinstate policy number 19 as written.
I second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And then we sort of forgot to get the payroll and warrant totals and purchase orders, so we'll do that next time. We'll just have a long, extended payroll and warrant totals. So, correspondence and announcements. So nomination papers are available in the town clerk's office for 3 charter commission members for a 1-year term. Nomination papers are due back by November 8th, 2024 at 4 p.m. No emails or faxes are allowed. The special town meeting will be held on Tuesday, January 7th, 2025 by secret ballot voting. Voting places to be determined. So we wanted to have a charter commission, but to have members, you have to nominate them as if they were like the select board or any other town official. So that's why we have to have a certain time period for the nomination papers and a due back time frame and then a special town meeting. So if you're interested, please pick up a nomination paper, and then on the secret ballot voting, it will have a list of the people. It's not you're not allowed to put your political preference, and it will be in alphabetical order. Your turn.
Okay, MSCD 6 is currently accepting applications for the Citizens Budget Advisory Committee. This committee is an advisory group of up to 34 appointed citizen volunteers to serve as a 1-term year, and making budgetary recommendations to the District Budget Committee and the School Board. Application deadline is Monday, November 4th, 2024. Applications are available by calling Ms. Iva Davenport at the business office at 929-2318 or email her at idavenport@bonnieeagle.org. We are currently hiring part-time secretary for Planning Board, Finance Committee, and Board of Appeals. Responsibilities include attending all meetings, hearings, taking and keeping minutes, sending and posting notices of hearing, maintaining records, and miscellaneous duties as indicated by the chairpersons. Planning Board currently meets on 2nd and 4th Wednesdays of the month at 7 p.m. Finance Committee bi-weekly during the budget season months of January, February, and March, and as required for emergent budget issues. Board of Appeals meet as needed. Position is approximately 15 to 30 hours per month. Hourly rate will be based on skills, experience, interest, and candidates should submit their resumes and cover letters to the Hollis Select Board at the town office or email to adminsecretary@hollismaine.org. We are seeking animal control officer for our town. The job description information on how to apply is available on our website under announcements, or you can email your resume to Bennett Flitter at admin secretary at hollismaine.org.
She tries to make it difficult.
Yeah. This position is 20 hours a week, includes just benefit package. Contact Bennett for more information at 207-298-9708. The Planning Board currently has vacancies for alternate members on their board. If you are interested in becoming an alternate, contact Bennett Flinner for an application, 207-298-9708. We are in need of volunteers to join our Comprehensive Plan Committee. Contact Bennett Flinner for an application, 298-9708, or email adminsecretary@hollismaine.org.
Other business, Jack? Do you want to do other business?
Oh, the select board will be presenting the Boston Post cane to Mr. Louis DeSalva, who had just turned 104 years old, believe it or not. And he still is a feisty young man.
So we're going to try to do that soon because we need to find a time when he's awake. Upcoming town committee and board meetings. Community Day Committee meeting on Tuesday, October 8th at 6 p.m. Planning Board meeting on Wednesday, October 9th at 7 p.m. Sports Complex Committee meeting on Thursday, October 10th at 7 p.m. Select Board meeting and public hearing on Wednesday, October 16th at 7 p.m. We will be presenting the Group Spirit of America Award to the Hollis Conservation Commission and hold an additional public hearing regarding the November special town meeting warrant articles. Conservation Commission meeting on Thursday, October 17th at 5:30 p.m. And the Town Manager Hiring Committee will be meeting on Tuesday, October 22nd at 6 p.m. We're up to public comment. Any comment from anybody?
Becky?
Miss?
Becky Bowley, Timber Lane. My only question is, on the Charter Commission, why did you decide only to go with 3 members?
Under the statute, it has how many sitting selectmen are current. That's why there are 3 to be elected.
Okay, perfect.
And then there's also some appointed, so there's 3 elected.
Afterwards,
And afterwards, there's appointed members.
the elected ones under the state statute, how it read, it was,
Because I've been following a couple other municipalities that are doing charters, and they seem to have a lot more members than 3.
well.
Yeah, and then we
that's-
appoint some.
That's 3 elected, and then you do other appointments after that.
Okay, all right. Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
You on, Christie?
Hello. How are you?
We're
Good.
fine, thanks.
I just wanted to see, can I request a copy of the consent agreement that you guys just approved?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
It will be public as soon as we sign it, and we can send you a copy.
Okay, and then can you provide me with like what is going to happen next? Are you able to tell me more about the situation?
I believe he is putting together a plan on what is going to happen in the open space and on the roadway, and they're supposed to submit that by the end of the week.
Yeah, on his, he was required by, I think, last Friday to give us an answer to everything that was on the consent agreement. And he said currently they have the person working on the open space, getting the construction debris and other stumps and other things out of the open space. And then he's supposed to be providing us with, by the end of this week, something from BH2M on how they're going to address the road and the drainage problems.
Okay, so who is making the decisions as far as how he's going to resolve it, and who is overseeing that it's done correctly? Because this would be the second time that there's been an excavator on site to get the buried trash.
Yeah.
Well, currently, Code's been going out about once or twice a week and reviewing with them what they've been doing.
So there is documents stating specifically what needs to be done to meet with your requirements.
Yes.
Yes, there is.
Okay, and so you guys will be able to send that with as part of the agreement.
Say that again, Christie, I'm sorry.
will you guys be able to send that information along with the signed consent agreement?
We haven't got it yet, but we can send you what we have.
Okay, so at what point do you guys talk with the homeowners about it to make sure that we're also okay with the decisions?
Well, the decisions that we could enact on was the open space and the roadway
And the drainage, yeah.
and the drainage. Those are the
Yes,
things
but
that
who's making who's making the decision as how he's going to resolve it?
It's written in the consent agreement.
Yes, but who provided that information?
That was worked out between the attorneys.
Okay, and so do they have experience in restoring land?
Well, actually, he had a forester give us a report, and we can include that with the consent agreement, with what the forester proposes, and then
BH2M.
BH2M, when they send their stuff, we can provide that also.
Okay.
And Van said that when he came in on Friday, he said that if any of the residents wanted to contact him directly about their issues, to contact him, that he was more than willing to work on anything that has been identified.
Okay. Do you guys recall what happened here last August when the general contractor made a decision to route some pump drainage from one of my neighbor's basements into the detention basin that was located on my property, and that's also HOA property?
That wasn't here last August.
Okay. But are you guys aware of that situation?
No, I'm not.
Okay, well, I can fill you in. The general contractor was making decisions on behalf of the then homeowners, and they wanted to drain the sump pump water into a detention basin that is HOA property and that also is within my property lines. And I told the owner of the basement proofing company, I told the general contractor, the developer, and the code enforcer that I didn't consent. And the town sided with the general contractor and supported that decision to install that. And we know what's happened since. It hasn't been a good decision. So I just want to understand why you guys are going to continue to make decisions that could make our situation worse when you guys have already done that in the past.
I think that the biggest problem is that we're more than willing to share things with you and get your input on things, but you also need to be willing to tell Van Hertel, who's really in charge of the project, what your concerns are.
Okay, so the subdivision plan that was approved, can you tell me what two parties were included in that agreement? The subdivision plan for Harmon Farm Estates that was brought forth to the town of Hollis. Who was that agreement between?
I'd have to look at it, Christy. I don't have the subdivision plan agreement with me.
Well, wouldn't you assume that it would be the developer and the town? And in that agreement, the developer is supposed to uphold his portion of the contract and supply a development that meets all of the set forth requirements.
Right.
And then as the other party in the agreement, you need to make sure that he fulfilled those duties just like you're doing with your contractors on the new town hall, correct?
Correct.
Yes. So part of the development process is you have a code enforcer that comes out and signs inspections. And I'm assuming that means the code enforcer comes on site, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I have inspections dated for February 11th, February 18th, April 19th, April 27th, July 8th, July 11th, and August 18th of 2022. So again, we're to assume that means that somebody from the town was on site to view my property and sign off on all those inspections.
Right, yeah.
Meaning that the developer did everything he was supposed to do in the agreement. including not cutting the common land, which is right next to my property, which I would assume if you come to visit our site several times, you would have noticed it was cleared.
Mm-hmm. And my understanding is that you didn't realize that it wasn't supposed to be cleared until it was brought to your attention by the code officer.
You're right. We asked for a permit for our shed, and then code enforcer came in and she mentioned cluster subdivision, possible violation, which brings me again to the town has photos of buried trash in that common land as early as spring of 2022, which again means that the town was aware of a violation that took place. So while I wasn't aware because I didn't even live here then, you guys did know there was a violation and you guys didn't do anything about it, and you continue to sign off on permits and issuing letters of occupancy despite knowing something was wrong because you have photos. And then, is it also typical that the town leaves it to the residents to discover the discrepancies in their agreements? Because like you said, I didn't know, but I wasn't aware of the situation. I don't work for the town, but you guys do. And you guys actually use some of my information to support the first violation notice. So you guys were able to use me in your discovery of a violation and to support your violation, but you don't want to use me in part of the resolution that involves my property. And then what is being done with the money that is collected from his violations? Where does that go?
It goes towards the lawyer fees, the engineering fees, and costs of the town. For correcting something, that was identified as a civil issue initially.
Okay, so the town is getting whatever money is left over after fulfilling all of those expenses. It goes to the town.
Correct.
Correct.
It goes in
Okay,
as a
and so
fine.
it's, the town money is being used to pay for the code enforcers that signed off on all the inspections for my house and issued a letter of occupancy. And it's getting sent to you guys who are allowing this to happen. Again,
So,
we know that this
Christy,
has happened since. I'm
Can I ask
asking
you a question? When did you buy your house?
In July of 2022.
And you signed a contract, right?
I was given a contract because there was a letter of occupancy issued for my house.
Right.
Now, after we've heard about all of these violations, because you've issued him a notice of violation, proving that you know that he was in violation, you know that you issued me a letter of occupancy and put me in a situation to be in this situation where I now own a home that I shouldn't. And now I'm coming forth to my select board and I'm asking me for help because the one thing about this situation is I played no role in this. I am not somebody that's responsible for this situation, but you guys do have a part in this. And as members of the select board, your responsibility is supposed to, you're protecting the health, safety, and welfare of the town's residents. And the fact that we're dealing with this situation is beyond frustrating. But what's even more disheartening is the constant resistance and lack of empathy when we try to ask for help and transparency. If you don't feel the need to protect the health, safety, and welfare of my family and my neighbors' families, then I ask, like,
Christy,
why are you here tonight? Yes.
how can you say that when we've put you in direct contact with the attorney?
You did not put me in direct contact with
You've
your
been-
attorney. I found her
you've-
name. I sent the email myself.
Yeah, and we gave you access to the town attorney, and she responded to your emails, correct?
No, she barely did. I sent her a bulleted checklist of all the questions I had, and she sent me a paragraph response.
Yeah.
You're acting like I did something wrong in this situation, and I did not. You guys put me in this situation. You allowed for this to happen. And instead of helping, because I know that there's more that you guys can do, you're not.
Well, my recommendation is that you have a lawyer. Contact our lawyer because we've been told by multiple law firms that the majority of your complaints are civil in nature.
How are they civil? What is civil about them?
I'm not going to
That's
argue
a
with
question I've
you.
been asking. No. I've been asking this for 6 months, and you have never answered. Even your attorney did not answer. How is this a civil matter?
All right, I'm not going to argue
Because
this, Christie, I'm not going to argue this
Me
point
neither.
right now. I'm not going to do that.
Christie, we're acting on what we're able to act on, and you've been given an open door to straight contact with Van. I suggest you take that opportunity.
And just so you guys know, I did that on my own. I've contacted Van on my own. I've contacted the attorney on my own. I've contacted senators and representatives and the DEP on my own.
Mm-hmm.
None of that was with help of you guys. You guys have only pushed us away when we've asked for help. I have emails where there's no response. I've been told that you guys were told you've told people to tell you not to answer the phone if we call. And I truly hope that that's not the case.
That has never been true, and if you can give me a date and time when we haven't answered the phone when you call, please do so.
I sent emails,
So
as you're aware.
personally, I feel we need to move forward. We're more than happy to share the consent agreement and what Van Hertel has told us. And if you want to set up a meeting with Van and us, feel free to set up a time and place for a meeting. But I don't personally need to be abused at every select board meeting with someone yelling at me that I'm responsible for the fact that they bought a house and signed a contract for a house and are unwilling to contact the developer about the problems they have with their house.
I have contacted the developer, and I'm sorry that you feel like I'm abusing you, but I hope that you understand that we have been dealing with this for over 2 years. We have family and life issues as well that we deal with. This is just something else that we have to worry about. And again, I am a resident and I am just going to my elected officials asking for help. And I'm sorry that you feel upset with how you've been treated, but I hope that you can understand that this has been very difficult for us. And like I said, I was in no part of this problem. This could have all have been prevented, and I didn't do anything wrong. I think that you guys, as select boardmen that have been elected, you guys have been trusted to act a certain way, and we should trust you guys and know that you guys care for us. And I do not feel like that was the case. I did feel like there was a point of time, maybe things were turning around, but I feel like we've reverted.
No.
And that's,
So you've contacted all these people. Have you contacted an attorney?
again, why am I going to contact an attorney when I'm upset with the town for not enforcing things?
And
The developer
first-
had an agreement with you. The developer had an agreement with you. And you guys signed off on things. You let them have their road bond back.
okay,
So
we're-
how can I go after him for things that you approve?
We are going to deal with the open space and the road and the drainage issues. That's what we are going to deal with. If you have specific concerns about your home, if it wasn't landscaped, if you don't have a loom, you need to contact the developer.
I'm concerned about the excess water being pumped from our homes and what they're doing to the surrounding area.
So you need to
That's what I'm
contact the
upset with.
developer. He's going to be looking at that with the road issues.
But why aren't you guys trying to help with this?
We are. We're dealing with the road and the drainage issues.
But you're telling me to talk with the developer instead of working with all of us. Like, why isn't this one big conversation? Why are we all, these are me and the developer and you and the developer. Why can't we all three communicate? Again, this should be everybody talking. And this is where I'm saying, I feel like you're pushing us aside. You don't want to deal with us.
no, we're not pushing you aside. So obviously, we're not going to settle this tonight. So when we get that information on exactly what the plan is, hopefully by the end of the week, we will contact you and supply you with that information.
And we will send you tomorrow the consent agreement and anything else that Van has provided us at this time. And if you'd like to set up a specific time to come in and meet with us and Van, please feel free to do so through contacting our administrative assistant, or secretary, sorry.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other public comment? Jack, you're on.
At this time, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Thank you, everybody.
I
Second.
second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, before anybody leaves, does anybody have a